Welcome, everyone. I'm Kimberly Boscheman, and this is the Intentionally Intuitive podcast. In this episode, we're going to take a look at the numerology and the energy for February 2022. Before I get into the reading, this is, of course, a general reading. If you would like a personalized reading, please book some time with me. My information is in the description box below. So as always, I'm going to take a deep dive into the numerology for the collective for the month of February. I highly recommend not skipping this part. This is why I don't put timestamps in these videos, because the numerology part of this reading is the bread and butter. This is what's sort of driving the energy. So please listen to this part. You're more than welcome to fast forward if you choose to, but just so you know, this is important. Okay. Then I will dive into the energy of each individual life path number. So let's go ahead and get into it. Okay, so February is an 8 universal cycle. What's really interesting about this, so 8 energy is sort of governs the material plane. So think money, resources, power dynamics. Why this is so interesting that this is occurring, that this 8 cycle is occurring in February 2022 is because in astrology, we have the Pluto return for the United States going exact, I believe, on February 22nd, 2022. So that's 2222022. So that's a lot of twos, a lot of balance energy. So with this Pluto return for the US, no matter where you are in the world, what sort of happens in the US does have some sort of effect on the rest of the world. That's just sort of the way it is. And so this Pluto return is incredibly significant. And it only happens, I think, your Pluto return, I think, only happens once like every 248 years or something like that. It's we humans never see their Pluto return, but like companies, estates, countries will see a Pluto return, and it can be significant. And so I would highly, highly suggest, if you haven't already done so, find an astrologer and that you like, that you resonate with, and watch their videos on the upcoming Pluto return for the US, because you are going to feel the effects of that in some way, shape, or form. Okay, so that's why this is just kind of mind-blowing that we have this 8 universal cycle that's centered around money, resources, power dynamics, and then we have this Pluto return coming in February for the United States. And again, Pluto is all about death, transformation, rebirth. This could be the start of a major overhaul when it comes to money, resources, control, transfer of power, and so on, to sort of function more effectively. So this, of course, will take many, many years. This isn't something that happens on the day or that happens immediately, but it's the start of a transformation. It's the start of a death and a rebirth, a start of a major overhaul and rebalancing. And so I think that we're going to see that play out on the global scale. And we can start to see things changing and the dynamics changing because of that. Because anytime Pluto is involved, shit is about to get real. That's just, it's for our highest good, but it gets intense. It gets intense pretty fast, and things that aren't working will basically be plowed over, and then it's time to transform and have that rebirth. So it's an intense energy, and that will be with us for a while as far as Pluto is concerned. With the 8 energy, we have this cycle in February. And so this brings it into the individual dynamic, right? So we will feel this not only collectively, but individually. Whereas the Pluto will be more collective, the Pluto energy for the Pluto return for the US. Okay, so for February, for the collective and for the individual, again, February is an 8 universal cycle, and we can see the emphasis really going to be placed strongly on the physical plane. So especially when it comes to money matters and how we make money, how we circulate money, our relationship with money, and so on. The same with resources. If we have lessons to learn around 8 energy, we could see challenges or transformations come in around finances, distribution of wealth, resources, how we handle those resources. Remember, we are in a 6 universal year. So the emphasis throughout the year will be on the greater community and how the individual actions affect the whole. So this month, in February, is an opportunity to sort of take a deeper, more serious look at how we are using resources, how they're being distributed and circulated, starting with ourselves, within our own homes. So this is ultimately about finding a healthy balance where we aren't falling into some toxic level of an extreme. Sort of living in excess has its own consequences, good and bad, just like living in deprivation does. So where is your healthy balance between the two, and how can you contribute to the redistribution of wealth and resources to keep that energy flowing? That's going to be a question we need to be asking ourselves. This will all be emphasized on the global stage, as I mentioned, as well as individually. That's really important to keep in mind. So we are individually going to feel the effects of this 8 universal cycle in some way, shape, or form. So really use this cycle to evaluate your finances, your resources, and determine whether you are feeling centered and in a healthy place with this energy, or whether you have fallen into an extreme, right? So in an extreme, work with the energy of this 8 cycle to begin to find ways to get back into a state of equilibrium when it comes to your own personal finances, resources, and relationships with those energies. That's going to be really, really important. And I think you'll see it highlighted where it is that there needs some work or some redistribution, or some where there needs to be, again, just sort of like your attention, your awareness. This 8 cycle is also emphasizing personal power and inner strength. So where we're going to be, again, seeing on the global stage that power dynamics and redistribution of power and all of that, on the personal side of things, it's going to be emphasizing personal power and inner strength. So if there are any areas within your life where you are giving your power away, or where you are easily influenced by an external source, someone telling you what you should do and you doing that, you may be faced with some pretty powerful truths and challenges to help to assist you in reclaiming that power and becoming much more decisive and autonomous when it comes to your own life and the choices that you make for yourself. Nobody else on this planet is responsible for our life. So if there are any aspects of our journey where someone is trying to dictate or do something for us, something that we're fully capable of doing for ourselves, then this 8 energy will be pushing us to take on the responsibility of the direction of our own life. So I hear people say sometimes, I did this because so-and-so told me to, and it didn't work out, so it's their fault and I'm mad now, or I'm upset, or we're not friends any longer because I took it personally, or whatever. That scenario is an example of giving your power away and then blaming someone else for the consequences of your own actions. We have the final say when it comes to our decisions and our choices, whether we were influenced by another to make those choices or if we made them through our own decisiveness. Either way, if those choices work out or they don't, it's our responsibility to take ownership of the result, to be empowered to either celebrate the success or take responsibility for what didn't work out and clean up our own mess. So 8 energy isn't about passing the buck and passing the blame. It's about taking ownership and responsibility of one's own circumstances, picking ourselves up when we fall, and then finding ways to not keep making the same missteps so we don't keep falling in the same direction. And so this 8 energy is going to help to sort of emphasize where it may be within our life that we're doing that and where we can clean that up a little bit and start taking that responsibility. So if there are any areas within your life where you have knowingly or even unknowingly been giving your power away, this 8 cycle will sort of shed light on that area and make it very difficult to ignore until you make the decision and commit to stepping back into your own magnificence and your own power. This 8 energy is all about self-empowerment, not martyrdom. There's a difference. Remember, we can't do it for someone else without taking their power away. That's martyrdom. Support, yes, we can support other people, but we can't try to do it for them. Because again, it's in the doing for the person and not believing that they have the capability of doing it that we're actually taking their power away. We are detracting from them, right? From their own essence. Supporting someone to assist them and sort of showing them or reminding them of their power and allowing them or teaching them to do it for themselves is so much more powerful, right? That is empowerment. So I believe we will see power struggles play out on the global stage under this energy, but it also serves a bigger purpose to sort of eventually bring the power back to the people. So remember, this cycle will help to highlight where the imbalances of power lie so that the equilibrium can eventually be reached. And as always, it's what we choose to do with this energy and how we choose to participate with it that ultimately makes the difference in how the energy works for us. So this is going to be an interesting month. This is, like I said, with this Pluto dynamic happening for the US and hence globally. And then we've got this 8 energy coming in. This could be a very intense month. This can be a month of transformation when it comes to, again, money, power, resources, or it can be a month where you start to see the sort of start reaping the rewards for some of the efforts that you've put in. Maybe you see an influx of money coming in, resources. Maybe you feel like you're stepping into your power. This can be like you stepping on the other side of that transformation. Maybe you've already been doing this work, and so you're fully stepping into it and sort of reaping the rewards of taking the reins back within your own life. So you can certainly see that show up as well. But for others, if you're struggling with, again, giving your power away or struggling with falling into the extremes of something within the physical realm, then this month might be a little bit more about the transformations and the challenges to help you to overcome those situations and to, again, regain what is rightfully yours, your power, your resources, and to circulate those resources and that money. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at the life path number. Okay, life path number 8. So this is your month. February is an 8 universal cycle. So you will either be feeling this month, the energies of this month very intensely, very strongly, or because this is the energy you deal with every day or work with every day, you may not even really notice it. You might not even flinch, right? Because it's such a big part of who you are. It's such a big part of your essence. And so you're kind of used to the ins and outs of this energy. So I pulled an animal spirit card for you all, and you got whale spirit, which is so incredibly beautiful and powerful. I love this energy for you all. And whale's message is trust the great mystery. And what really comes through with this is sort of this need, or not a need, but the universe encouraging you, especially through this month, to remember the connection you have with source, with something bigger, with the divine, right? So sometimes, especially those who are in the manifesting triad, so 2, 4, and 8, can feel like very practical energies sometimes, and very like in the physical, and like the workhorses, and like the ones who have like all the inspiration and motivation and vision and drive and blah 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 blah, right? It's a very like divine masculine oriented energy of like action and getting things done and like all of that. So sometimes, especially with 8 energy, which is such big powerful energy and so associated with business in the physical plane, you can get really caught up in that energy, right? So things become where it's like very like practical, very like there's this level of like this feeling of the need for control over the environment, over the situation, over, every single piece of the process type thing. And it can be really easy to lose that sort of more divine mystical connection that is also such a big part of 8s. So it's like, I feel like with whale energy coming in, it's just a reminder that you are, you have like this such big expansive energy that incorporates not only this physical plane but also the mystical, the ethereal, the intuition, all of that. And so it's kind of like, just remember whale spirit. Here is this like entity that is so wise and so, again, magical. And it doesn't have to sacrifice one side of itself for the other. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, it doesn't have to be all action oriented, all, divine masculine oriented. It can embrace its feminine side. It can embrace the more subtle sides of itself, right? And the more that side of you that is receptive, right? So it's just merging of those two beautiful energies, and remembering that it doesn't have to be all or nothing. It doesn't have to be like, you can give and you can receive. You can be in action mode, and then you can, fall into the stillness and check in with yourself. And you don't have to, nor could you, even if you wanted to, control every aspect of the situation. So don't try. Release what you can't control. There's going to be aspects that you will have influence over, right? And those are the things that you're meant to have influence over. So go with those, right? Like, go full speed ahead with those. But those things that where you feel like you're getting pushback, where you feel like you have to force it, or it's a struggle, release it, because that is not an area that you are meant to have influence over. That is for something bigger to take care of. So allow it to, right? Or it's for someone else to take care of. So allow them to. So again, eights, I just feel like throughout, especially February, where it is that you can release your grip, where it is that you can release control and literally go with the flow. Just think of the whale and how brilliant the whale is. And it always gets where it needs to go, and it travels long distances to get there, but it doesn't try to control the things that it can't control. You see what I'm saying? It lets it go. And I feel like you're just being asked to embrace that physical side of yourself, embrace that more divine masculine side of yourself, but at the same time, embrace that feminine side as well. Embrace the receptivity, embrace the stillness, embrace, again, going with the flow and surrendering to the things that you don't have control over, especially when it comes to money, resources, and power, right? Those are such big three big sort of keywords for 8 energy. So just be mindful of that. Just be aware of what it is you have control over, what you don't, and know when to release, know when to surrender, and know when to take action. And I think whale energy is going to assist you in doing that. Okay, that was a long intro. So when I look at the energies of the month for you all, I think it's going to be, again, really a month about, being decisive, finding your own clarity for what it is that you want to do, but maintaining that balance, checking in with yourself, doing those checkpoints, and then also pay attention to what you're really trying so hard to manipulate or control when it comes to your experience, because those are the things where you're going to see the most sort of catastrophic events occur, are those things that you're clinging so tightly to. Because what we cling to so tightly, the universe will typically remove, so that we can understand that we are whole without whatever that was. So for you all, I feel like this is going to come up around money. I feel like it's going to come up around distribution of power, distribution of wealth, whatever the case may be, resources. Could be relationships and how you interact with people. So just kind of keep that in mind. I'll get into that. But anyway, so the beginning of the month, we have this energy coming in where it's kind of like you're getting like very clear on the direction you want to move into. I'm talking like concise, clear, very, if there was any like cloudiness or illusions before, that's gone. It's like the universe or your higher consciousness is giving you sort of a sneak peek into the next move, like the next vision or big goal that you want to achieve, and you're getting like laser focused on whatever this is. So again, very much so about focused energy beginning of the month. So if you're starting to feel scattered beginning of the month, know that the energies that are surrounding you are trying to help you get focused. So work with those energies. If you're procrastinating, now again, I want to say this because procrastination can sometimes indicate that we need some stillness, right? Like that we are overworking ourselves, that we're pushing ourselves too hard. And so we start to procrastinate because our body is just like, we need a break. So obviously you can fall into extremes with that and then it becomes unhealthy. But if you have been moving and going and just nonstop constantly, and you find yourself procrastinating, unable to focus, recognize that as the potential to, or the invitation to lean into the stillness a little bit and embrace that feminine side of yourself and not push yourself so hard, right? Because, typically it's like if we don't slow ourselves down when we need a break, the universe will find a way to do that. So I just feel like beginning of the month, if you're feeling like you're procrastinating a lot or whatever, maybe you need some time for stillness and solitude, and that's fine. Take that. But if you're feeling laser focused and it feels good, go with it, because this energy is really helping you to set those intentions, create the vision boards, create the plans, start to get things, starting to see the trajectory of where it is that you want to move. So this is very clear energy, very concise energy, very action-oriented energy. Like you're getting the green light and you're given all of the tools to go. So beautiful, powerful energy at the beginning of the month. I will say it's also a very practical energy. So again, just make sure you're staying connected to that higher self, and that, if something comes in and says, okay, we need a break, listen to that energy and take a break. Mid-month for you all, definitely seeing, again, another opportunity for a checkpoint here. This is around your physical body, I feel like. It could be around your home. So there may be something that comes up around your home, resources, again, money, or the actual physical structure that you live in. There could be something that comes up around there that needs your attention, needs to be balanced out, needs some tender love and care. Don't ignore whatever that is. I would say jump on it and take care of it so that you're not having to deal with it later. Same thing if it's with your physical body. I feel like this is an opportunity for you to take a step back, do a check-in, see body, mind, spirit. If there's anywhere where you feel out of tune, where you feel like you're struggling, this is going to be an opportunity for you to fill that cup up, whatever that cup is. And I would say do not neglect this process, right? Like don't put it off until later, do it now. Even if you have to rearrange plans or whatever the case may be, or if you need to tell somebody, no, I can't hang out with you or do this for you or whatever, because I have to tend to me, that is perfectly okay. And I encourage you to do so. So mid-month, it's definitely going to be about, again, either your physical structural home, or something to do with your family or something like that needs your attention and needs to be addressed, or it's going to be about your physical body holistically, body, mind, spirit, right? Do you need to get more connected to your higher consciousness? Do you need to get, something checked up in the physical, like maybe a dentist appointment or something like that, right? Do you need to talk to somebody? Is there some mental health concerns that maybe you want to address, or something that's surfaced that you want to work through, and maybe you need to work with a healer or a reader or a therapist or whatever. And so this is going to be the time, I feel like, where you need to do that. You need to hit the pause button and take care of whatever needs to be taken care of, as opposed to pushing it to the side to keep pressing forward, because that's ultimately going to bite you in the butt if you do that, okay? So just be very aware of what needs your attention at this time. Okay, and then we move into the end of the month. And this is where things get a little bit challenging. And I hate the word challenging, because yes, we have challenges that we face. This does feel though like, you know what? Let's use the word awakening. That's what I'm going to use. This feels like a big awakening coming in for you when it comes to money, your relationship with money, how you spend money, how you hoard money, how you redistribute money, how you circulate money, whatever. But there's something very strong here coming in around money. Whether you feel like it's lacking, whether you feel like you have too much and you're afraid of losing it, whatever, whatever it is that we deal with when it comes to money, I feel like there's going to be like an aha moment for you, and a really big aha moment. And that aha moment might come in a challenging way. It's very possible, right? But however it comes in, whatever it allows to come into your awareness is a good thing. So let's say that you are your relationship with money is toxic, right? Like you have a fear of lack, or you are an overspender, or you can't manage your money, or whatever. Or you hoard it and you don't redistribute it, right? A big part of 8 energy is, yes, you have the potential to amass a ridiculous amount of wealth, but where the power in the 8 energy comes from is in redistribution of that wealth, so that you can use that money to assist others, to support others in a way that helps to empower them. It's not about getting all these resources, getting all this money to be super wealthy. Not that you can't benefit and enjoy those resources when they come in, but it's not about like hoarding it because you're afraid of losing it. It's actually like the more that you circulate it, the more that you redistribute it, the more that you'll actually see it come back to you. So it's an interesting dance, especially with 8 energy. So I just feel like there's something coming in here around money, whether it's your relationship, how you view it, how you spend it, how you redistribute it, whatever, that needs to be looked at. And I feel like the universe is going to help you to do that. And I feel like that after this sort of like awakening occurs, or this aha moment, you're going to see things very differently, and how you approach things will change, right? Maybe not like immediately, but like over time. And so, but you have the awareness now. And because you have the awareness, you can start to make the adjustments. So this is going to be a process, I believe, but it's interesting that this is coming in so strongly in an 8 universal cycle. And that's your life path number. So I feel like there's going to be some things here that come up around mid-month that's really going to force you to be very honest with yourself around money, okay? Whatever that is for you. If you currently have a great relationship with money, things feel wonderful in that area, then this probably isn't for you. So don't feel like things are going to be disrupted if they're good. If they're good, great. But if there's anything where, again, there's any self-defeating thought processes or like feelings of lack, or you know the drill, then more than likely you're going to see something come in that highlights for you, or causes some kind of disruption that sort of wakes you up to the changes that need to be made, to how you can start to make some adjustments so that you can kind of move much more freely moving forward. And it's kind of like that saying, like, once you wake up, you can't go back to sleep type thing. Once you know, you can't like unknow. It's kind of like that energy. So it's like if you've had a limiting belief system for your whole life, this awakening comes in and all of a sudden, like, okay, you see things differently. You can't go back to seeing it the way you used to see it. You'll have to make your own adjustments, right? So that you don't keep creating the situation the way that it was, but you see things differently. And it's like, it all starts with the awareness. So hopefully this was helpful. I think this is going to be a really powerful month for you all, isn't it always? But especially with that 8 energy circulating with the collective. So use it to your advantage. Use this energy to your advantage. Work with it to the best of your ability, and definitely lean into those softer sides of yourself. Don't allow yourself to go full practical mode, because you're going to burn out really, really quickly if you do that, and you'll miss some of the gems that come from the stillness, that come from falling into that receptivity and falling into that more intuitive nature, that more intuitive side of yourself that is such a big part of 8 energy, but sometimes it gets sort of overlooked, right? Thank you so much, 8s. Take care, everyone. Bye for now.